Well, the search for extraterrestrial life has fascinated mankind for decades and even taken a starring role in pop culture. You will, of course, remember the science fiction film E.T. and, of course, Independence Day, which helped launch Will Smith's movie career. Well, we could finally be one step closer to learning if there's life on other planets. NASA astronomers have discovered 7 planets similar in size and temperature to Earth. Well, for more, let's bring in Francisco Diego. He is a senior teaching fellow at the University College London and joins us from our London bureau. Great to have you with us.
It's a pleasure.
A discovery like this certainly raises a lot of questions, like where we came from and are we alone in the universe?
Absolutely. It's a major discovery to have in a single go, almost within the space of a year, discover 7 planets around a single star is a major, major thing. Let alone when those planets are relatively close to us. I mean, it's only a few light years away, and that they are similar to the Earth. That's the most relevant thing. Yes, it is very exciting.
So just explain for us how this discovery came about.
There is a telescope called TRAPPIST, which means the Transit Planetary and Planetesimal Small Telescope. That's the acronym. It is small. It's about the, I don't know, diameter of 60 centimeters, like the ones we have in our observatory here in London. 60-centimeter telescope, robotic telescope, operated from Belgium, and the telescope is in Chile. And it made discovery of 3 planets going in front of this very, very faint star. And that was about a year ago. And then later on, we have more instruments, more telescopes, space telescopes, the Spitzer telescope, for example, the VLT in Chile, the William Herschel telescope in the Canary Islands. We have a variety of telescopes that have been discovering more and more planets until we get the number of 7.
We're just looking at some quite beautiful pictures that NASA has released of what these planets may look like based on what they know about them. You said these planets are very close by. I understand they're 40 light years away. So using the rockets we have now, how long would it take to reach them?
Oh, it's completely out of the question. It is unachievable. We will take thousands of years to get there, and the interstellar travel, as much as the films and all the science fiction that we have seen may talk about that, we are very far away from interstellar travel. So to get there, I think for the time being, I mean, for the next few hundred years, I would say forget it.
Right, so it's going to take a while to get there. But in the meantime, scientists are trying to figure out if there is water on these planets. How do they go about doing that?
Yes, well, what happens when the planet goes in front of the star? Part of the, and this is how they were discovered, part of the light of the star has been absorbed by the planet, and then the star dims a little bit, and this is how they detect the planet. But if there is any atmosphere around the planet, that atmosphere is going to make a signature in the kind of light that will come from the star, and that signature may give us an idea what chemicals are in any possible atmosphere there. Once we have the atmosphere, then we can have an idea what is the pressure of that atmosphere. If the pressure is good enough, knowing that the planet is at the right distance from the star, which allows enough heat to preserve liquid water on the surface of the planet, then we have the conditions of having liquid surface on that planet, the combination of the temperature from the star and the atmospheric pressure. Now, I must say, all these planets that are very close to their star, I mean, this is a miniature solar system, actually. We are talking about planets which are very, very close, much closer than Mercury is from our sun. So all these planets that orbit so close to their mother star are what we call tidally locked, which means that the gravity of the star is preventing the planet from spin. So that's what we see in this animation we have now in front of us. We see the planet spinning, but with respect to the star, but doesn't spin itself. So to speak, if you are in one hemisphere of the planet, you always see the star. If you are in the other hemisphere, you never see the star. So it is a very difficult condition for life to emerge and to flourish. If you may say, well, in the terminator, which is the line dividing day and night on the planet, you may have some kind of transition zone when you can have the best of everything, but it's only a very small area. So it's a very difficult condition for developed life. Primitive life, probably yes. At the level of bacteria, probably yes.
So half of the planet is always in darkness, half the planet always in light, and you believe that only life can exist possibly in that twilight zone?
In the twilight zone, yeah.
Right. So at this stage, how much hope is there for NASA and the future of finding like life on these planets? How long could it take?
The next step is to use more powerful telescopes. We have now the extremely large telescope from Europe that is going to be mounted also in Chile with nearly 37 meters in diameter, very powerful telescope. And of course, we have the James Webb from NASA, James Webb Space Telescope, the JWST, that will be launched in about 2 or 3 years' time. And that telescope will be able to characterize, and the way I describe this kind of absorption of light by the atmospheres of the planets. At that point, we will be in better condition to tell more about the conditions for life in these places.
And in your opinion, do you think there could be alien life on this planet, on any of these planets?
At the level of microscopic life, yes. Bacteria, yes. We know that bacteria appear on Earth very early in the formation of the Earth, in only a few 100 million years. Remember, the Earth is 4,500 million years old. So in the very first stages of the Earth formation, we had bacteria already. And the bacteria thrive in very difficult conditions on Earth, in what we call the extremophiles, that thrive in very acidic conditions in Antarctica, in Yellowstone, for example. Primitive life is relatively resilient and thrives in very difficult conditions. That may be the case in planets like this. In other places in the solar system as well. Could be the Moon, could be Mars, could be the moons of Jupiter, but more developed life, very, very, very difficult.
All right, Francesco, Diego, we'll have to leave it there. Very exciting times ahead. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
You're watching Connect the World. Still to come, the fight against human trafficking. How an English teacher in Vietnam became a hero to girls who were kidnapped and sold as brides in China. We'll have that story just ahead.